guys, and welcome to my little YouTube channel. Today I thought I'd do a get ready with me video, also merged with a bit of a Q&A, as you could probably tell from the title. I thought I'd put these two videos together because I did film a Q&A a little while back and it didn't really turn out very well, so I thought that maybe this might be a more natural way of answering your questions rather than me just sitting down and talking to you guys. Today I'm not really doing much. We're kind of just crafting and making things around the house. We're kind of just relaxing and things like that and just doing general household stuff, so I'm not really doing anything too extravagant today. I haven't really decided what I'm doing yet, and I just thought it'd be nice to kind of talk to you guys, sit down, do my makeup together or something like that. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm just gonna get on with the first question and also put some concealer on. So the first question was, what inspires your makeup? I think that's a really good question to start off with, considering I would definitely say quite a lot of things inspire my makeup, but it mainly kind of comes down to what kind of mood I'm in. I like to do things a lot more fluid and kind of go with whatever I'm feeling at the time. Like today I might end up doing something really crazy, I might end up doing something more tame or inspired by something that kind of pops into my head halfway through. I like to really take my time with my makeup because I feel like as a creative outlet it's like a process kind of thing. So I like to go with what I'm ever thinking of at the time. But as for things in general, I mean, I take a lot of inspiration from like TV shows and movies and things like that I'm interested in. Nature in general, like at the moment I'm really loving gold and red because obviously we're going into autumn. So that's something that I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I'm kind of trying to incorporate a lot more into not just my makeup but my style as well. So I'd say that would be the thing that inspires my makeup the most. General feelings and things. I'd love to do more looks that are inspired by one particular thing. Like I did a Silmarillion-ish kind of inspired makeup a little while ago. I've done one that was inspired by Celtic kind of warrior ideals and stuff like that. So I thought maybe doing a couple more like that would be really interesting as well. That's pretty much it. I kind of just go with whatever I feel like at the time, and I take inspiration from things I enjoy. I want to do more Lord of the Rings inspired looks because there's such a wealth of different things in all of Tolkien's work that you could kind of put them into anything. Right now I'm just concealing my under eyes, and then I'm going to bake as well, which is something I only recently started doing, but I actually really like it because obviously when you're working all day and smiling at customers and things like that, and kind of just generally, like say if you're out with your friends or at the woods, it's really nice to not have to worry about your under eyes creasing, especially when you're someone who's really expressive, usually with how they talk like I am. I probably won't be very expressive for this video because I don't want to crease anything, and I usually need to concentrate a lot to do makeup, and I've never talked this much doing my makeup, so this would be a challenge in itself because I suck at multitasking. I'll move on to the next question as well before I do the next eye. What's your favourite song? I'd have to kind of just go with what my favourite songs to listen to at the moment are rather than like of all time, because I don't think you can ever really pick a favourite song. I think obviously it changes so much as you grow as a person, as well as like as someone with any kind of love for music would know, you can't really, it's like picking between children, but only so much worse. Right now I'm listening to a lot of Percelt, and the Diary of a Troll Woman album just in general is amazing and I'm absolutely in love with it. I liked a little bit of them before, but after seeing them at Castlefest it really showed me how amazing they are, and after seeing them live, I can't stop listening to them. They're absolutely amazing. The same kind of goes for Irfan as well. Seeing them, like, I hadn't actually heard of them before Castlefest, and I can't believe I'd never heard of them before. They were absolutely insane. They were like one of the best bands I've seen live. I mean, I've seen Iron Maiden, so not many bands can top that. But yeah, they were absolutely insane, and I'm in love with the feeling that I get from listening to them at this time of year. Just, I feel like it merges in so well with the weather at the moment, and it's just beautiful. I look crazy right now because my bake's on, but you're gonna have to stick with me. Next question is, what is your star sign, and do you practice any sort of witchcraft or pagan faith? I get asked this question a lot. My star sign is Aries, and I kind of feel like I do have quite a few traits of an Aries. I wouldn't say all of them, because I know that Aries are usually quite confrontational, and I hate confrontation. So the hot-headedness I completely agree with, because at times I can be really hot-headed, but I think I'm just a bit too chill to kind of go with all of the traits of an Aries. But I am really independent. I can be quite fiery, like I said. I am creative. I'm not really a natural born leader, because I'd rather just do my own thing rather than lead other people. It's just a lot of effort, and it's a lot of responsibility. And I like to be responsible for myself rather than anything else. I'm just going to do my eyebrows now. I basically use brown and black eyeshadow and just draw on with an angle brush. As for witchcraft or pagan faith, I don't really follow any set belief system or faith or anything like that, or religion. I'm not a Wiccan, I wouldn't say I follow the teachings of Azure or anything like that, or really devote myself to heathenism or whatever. I don't follow any set kind of faith. I kind of just go with spirituality, but with an overruling respect for nature and for the earth, and believing that basically we're all energy, and that energy will eventually become the earth. And it's the most important thing in the world, and we should just respect it and treat it well, and basically put everything that we can into protecting it. I celebrate certain days, like certain holidays like Samhain and the winter solstice, so like Yule and stuff, but I don't follow any particular faith. I used to, as for like witchcraft and stuff like that, I used to read tarot a lot. I meditate with crystals. I believe there's so much energy that we can put into something like a crystal, and basically what I think it is more of like a very receptive piece of the earth that we can pour energy into, and if we charge it with a certain type of energy, that receptiveness basically gives it back to us when we need it more. So things like, I have a really beautiful amethyst crystal that helps me meditate, because the kind of energy that I pour into it is very calming and relaxing, and then I can take that back from it. But yeah, I think it's more just a spirituality thing, and I know it sounds like a bit of a cop-out of an answer. I mean, like, I believe in the symbolism and the power we put into certain symbols, like the runes and things like that, and I think they're incredibly interesting, and when you put power into something, you usually get it back. Positive or negative energy. And I feel like that rings really, really true, but I also think that it kind of just goes hand in hand with like nature and science as well. I guess I'd say I'm spiritual and logical, but I definitely would class myself as a pagan, because I think it falls somewhere in the spirituality / not believing in organised religion kind of thing. That eyebrow looks horrendous. It's always that eyebrow. The next question is, how old are you? I'm 21 years old, so I'm basically just a little baby. I would say that I am a lot more mature for my age, but then I think everyone who's young says that. I think I've done a lot and I've seen a lot, enough to kind of be sore as an adult. The next question was, how did you make your dreads, and how long have you had your dreads? My dreads were made by someone who knew a partner who I was with at the time. They worked together, she had dreadlocks, and her dreads were lovely, and I'd wanted them for so long. I'd wanted them for as long as I can kind of remember, I'd really loved the way they looked. I thought they were beautiful, and I was always worried about what people would say, so I never really bothered before that. I was still quite young at the time. I mean, I was 19, I think, when I got my locks put in. It's about 2 years ago now. And I was really worried about what people would say and what people would think of me. But I'm so glad I did it. Like, I love my hair so much, and it's crazy and it's wild and it's weird. I feel like it makes me look unique. Done my eyebrows, finally. I might change it eventually and get something else and not have locks, but I do very much doubt it. I really love the idea of being like an old elderly woman in like long flowing raggedy ass clothing, living in a cottage somewhere, picking lavender and having long silver dreadlocks. For both my powder and my concealer, I use Kat Von D Lock-It loose powder, and I use the foundation shade in light 44, I think. Light 42. That was closer to my natural shade before I got tanned. Unwittingly got tanned. And now I am white as hell. Next question is, do conservative people judge you at all, or do you just receive positive comments? I would say the majority of the time I get good comments. I mean, you're always gonna get people being assholes, you're always gonna get someone being a dickhead when you look a bit different. It kind of just comes with the territory. If you look slightly strange, no matter where you live, even if you live somewhere that's really liberal, or you live somewhere that's very artistic and there's loads of different types of people there, you're always going to have a few people that are assholes that are going to be mean to you for it. And I mean, that shouldn't stop you by any means at all. But I mean, even though I don't live in a particularly good place, like at all, like I really don't like where I live at all, people are always really sweet about it. But yeah, it's always really nice when little old ladies kind of say they like your makeup and stuff. And usually I get kind of older women saying they wish they did that kind of thing when they were younger, and I always say they should just do it now anyway. But it's really, really nice. I'm very, very fortunate that most of the people that I've come across have been really sweet about it. Not that it matters anyway, but it's just, it makes life a little bit easier. I'm always, you know, happy to talk to people about dreadlocks in particular, because there's a lot of misconceptions about them, and mainly that they don't need washing and things like that, and I really like informing people that that's definitely not the case. But yeah, that's basically it. Next question is, who is your favourite god or goddess, and how do you prefer interacting with them? My favourite god is Tyr. I actually have a really beautiful little carved statue over on my altar of him that my fella got me for my birthday, for my 21st birthday. And I love it. It's so beautiful and so well made, and it makes me feel strong just looking at it. I really love the way he embodies strength and, you know, prowess and power and valour and things, and obviously honour. I really love the story of him and Fenrir, with the leavings of the wolf and the unbreakable chains and things like that. I think I briefly touched on this subject in my Q&A thing on my story on Instagram. But yeah, I really enjoy that story, and I don't know, the art that I saw surrounding it as well, and just the imagery that comes up in my mind when I read about it or think about it and things is always so beautiful, and I really enjoy it. As for goddesses, I'd probably say Freya. I mean, like, it feels like it's a bit of a cop-out answer for a female, because, well, she is a very strong symbol of feminine strength and, you know, female sexuality and things like that, and everything about her is something that I feel like a woman should kind of like to emulate anyway. But when it comes to how do I prefer to worship them, I don't worship the gods or any set of gods. I mean, as I touched on before, when it comes to my beliefs and stuff, I'm more of a spiritual person. I don't believe that the Norse gods are real gods. I believe that all the teachings that were interpreted from them are very important, and the idea of them is absolutely beautiful. And I think that ideas can really hold a lot of weight and a lot of value in the way you kind of live your life and things like that. And I really love the teachings of them. and what individual traits that each god has that I can kind of implement in my own life. I don't, like I said, I don't worship them. I think the closest I'd get to worshipping them would be just trying to bring as many traits that they show into my life that I feel would be valuable and would help me on my journey and my path and things like that. So they're an amazing idea, and I love the stories and the literature and the art and things like that surrounding them, but I don't believe in them as actual real things. I do this almost every makeup look because I don't actually know what I'm gonna do, so this is kind of like a good foundation place to start. A lot of time goes into me doing my makeup, not because like it's particularly amazing or anything like that. I mean, I know I can always get better and I'm not fantastic at it. I just like to take my time because otherwise I mess it up. Let's move on to the next question while I put my eyeshadow on. What do you do for a living? I'm basically just a barmaid. I'm a bar wench. I don't do anything particularly exciting work-wise. It's kind of just all I've ever done, so it's kind of what I've stuck at. I mean, it's hard work. It really is. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be, but I think just coming from someone who's very strong-minded and has very particular ideas of the world and of people and things like that, I think it's quite a demanding job for me mentally, and I really would love to get to the point in my life where I'm able to do something creative full-time or even just part-time, but it's not really possible for me at the moment, so I kind of just have to bust my ass for now, doing everything that I can creatively in my spare time. But working creatively and making things and making content, even though I suck at it because I haven't, to be honest, I haven't got the time a lot of the time to make loads of content. I really want to change that. Spending time making content and making stuff for you guys and just crafting and things like that, somehow if I was able to make that a full-time thing, I'd be so happy, because that's kind of like the goal, and to get out of the shitty town that we live in and live somewhere surrounded by nature. That would be amazing. Next question is, do you believe in gnomes, trolls or other mythical creatures? I don't believe that they're real because, like I said before, in a really sad way, I believe in what I can see the majority of the time, or deep feelings that I can actually say wholeheartedly that I've felt, energy-wise and things like that. I really love the imagery and the ideas and the stories that surround all these mythical kind of creatures, and they're always the best part in any fantasy. And I feel like it's unfair that we live in such a boring world that these things aren't actually real. We haven't discovered all the oceans yet. There could be mermaids out there, you never know. The next question is, have you participated in any music video or short film? I haven't, not at all. I'd love to. I think that would be a really cool experience, but it's nothing that's really fell in my lap, unfortunately. Also, I feel like I have quite a distinct look that I can't actually change very easily. A lot of people seem to think that I could just take my hair out, and I mean, you can unpick dreadlocks, but it's very difficult and I don't want to go through that. But if anyone needed someone who looked a little bit different for a particular role, that'd be awesome. But I'm not the best natural actress. You probably can't tell on here because I'm trying to keep my composure a little bit, but when I'm just talking normally, I'm really expressive and my face does loads of different weird things. So if you, the kind of way that if you were watching me on TV, if I was in something, you pause it and it'd be like all over the place kind of thing. So it's probably not the best. The next question is, what was your favourite subject at school? Obviously I loved art. Art was probably one of my favourite subjects, if not my favourite subject, but I also adored English. And well, every teacher that I had taught me English, was really cool and really good at teaching and got everyone kind of involved. I just loved delving into the English language, and I used to write a lot of poetry when I was younger. When I was in secondary school and when I was in primary school, I loved poetry. My mum was quite a poet when she was that age as well, and up into her 20s, so I used to read all the poems that she wrote and take inspiration from that, and I really enjoyed it in school. I didn't stay in school very long, not as long as you're supposed to. I dropped out at 14, so I didn't really get the entire secondary school experience. I went to college for a year, a few years after. I did get all my GCSEs and stuff, and all my qualifications, like I got A's in most of them, but I didn't fit very well in the school environment. So I did go to college and that was fun, but it was music college. I did music performance and I wasn't very good at it. It wasn't something I should have went to college for. I should have stuck with art instead because it was something I was much more passionate about, but I thought it'd be a lot more fun to go to music college, so I did. I didn't really gain anything from it because it's not something I want to do in life. You know, every young person thinks that they're going to be in a band, be a touring musician and stuff, but it doesn't work when you're not very good at it. Look at me. My least favourite subject in school would have definitely been maths. I just wasn't very good at it. It wasn't for me. I got decent grades when I actually did it. And I passed my GCSE for it, but it never enticed me. It bored me and I used to play up a lot, so. But yeah, I'm just kind of glad it's over. I kind of just decided to put a purple shadow on the inner corner and then a highlight shadow in the middle. That's kind of how I usually do my makeup. I chose to kind of go with that because there was this picture I saw, well, this scene on Planet Earth I saw last night, and it was like salt lakes, but most of them were very purpley and very iridescent, and I was thinking of doing something along the lines of that for this makeup look. That's the image I have in my head right now. So I hope it kind of at least turns out a little bit like that. That'd be really cool. The next question is, how do you get the confidence to do more alternative looks? Any tips on how to feel more confident with quirkier looks? That would be amazing. I would just say that confidence, and I get this question a lot, I would just say that being confident looking a little bit different, it just comes with time. And if you really gain a lot from looking a certain way, like it actually makes you feel, you know, comfortable and happy and beautiful, and you get a lot of love from doing it, that kind of just overrides any negativity that you may get from it, from other people. Because when you really, really love something, it kind of outweighs any backlash or anything like that. That doesn't mean to say it's not still difficult. When I first started doing my makeup a bit odd, I mean, I've always done dark makeup and stuff like that because I've always been an alternative person, well, all my adolescent life anyway. I mean, I was like the biggest emo kid in school. It's embarrassing. So I was never afraid to do wacky makeup, but I think when I started delving into trying to make it look a little bit prettier and going down a different path with it and stuff, and obviously with the green dreadlocks and the blue dreadlocks and stuff, I kind of just tried to build it up slowly, half because I was still learning, but then also because, I mean, quite a few people were starting to notice that I was, you know, drawing lines all over my face, and they'd say it looked weird and stuff. So I kind of just started off small, like I have a couple of little dots here and there, and then it moved on to something a little bit more extravagant. And I think building things up in anything, regardless of what it is always a surefire way to make yourself feel more comfortable, more confident. I mean, if you decided to turn around and change how you looked completely from looking relatively normal to being way out there, then obviously people are gonna stop and notice this massive change and make loads of comments on it, good or bad, and it's gonna make you feel uncomfortable, or it might not. If it doesn't, then amazing. If you can do that, then you do what the hell you need to do. But I think it's just good to start small for a lot of people and just kind of just go with whatever you feel, because at the end of the day, other people saying things shouldn't affect your happiness. I know they do, but you kind of need to put yourself above that and before that, because that's just not important. These people are just gonna walk away from their stupid comment and go and live their lives and do their thing, and you need to feel comfortable in yourself to do your own thing. Following everyone else and doing what you think they like is never going to resort into your happiness, so you might as well just stop with that idea straight away and just do what the fuck you want. I hope that kind of at least semi-answered the question. I mean, for the record as well, I am not the most confident person in the world. I find it really difficult to talk to people, although it is part of my job. Like, when I'm behind the bar, I can talk to people easily because it is my job and I kind of just put on a face and that's just how it is. But out in the actual real world and stuff like that, I find it really difficult to converse with people. But it's nothing to do with how I look. I mean, I'm not an ultra confident person by any means. I'm working on it and I'm trying as hard as I can to, you know, spread self-love and love myself, because it is difficult and it's a hard journey, but it's imperative that we get there, you know? And just darkening the outer corners again because it just wasn't black enough. Next question is, and I've got this question a lot, I've been asked it at least once a week very recently, as I've, you know, gained a little bit more of a following on Instagram. Everyone seems to ask this question, and it is, have you had a nose job? I haven't had a nose job. I have always had a strange little pixie-ish nose. I've never had any work done on my face, or I'm not against any plastic surgery or anything like that, but I don't feel I need to have anything done at the moment. I just want to continue with working out and getting as strong as I possibly can. Hopefully I'll get back into it soon. I've had a little bit of a break. And just tattooing as much as my body as I can as well after I get like laser removal and things. Other than that, I've had nothing done. If you want to see what I look like when I was younger, I'll put a picture in here. See, same little pixie nose. Hasn't changed a bit. I use Collection 2000 Fast Stroke Liner. Everyone always asks me what my eyeliner is, but it's this one and it's amazing. They're cruelty free and it's like $2.99 or something like that, so fucking awesome. Next question is, what hair dye do you use? I use Directions currently, Alpine Green and Spring Green. I much preferred when I did it with the Arctic Fox colour. I did it with Phantom Green, and Phantom Green was amazing and I loved it, but it faded really quickly. And this one, even though obviously it's really faded now from what it was before, I feel like it's faded a lot slower. But colour wise, the Arctic Fox one wins out every single time. I'm just gonna try and concentrate now because I can't do my eyeliner and talk. This is gonna go horrifically wrong, so I'm gonna shut up for a sec and try and concentrate. Next question, how do you separate your dreads? I separate my dreads just by ripping them apart. I don't really go to any specific kind of place or person that does dreads or anything like that. Literally what I do is I make sure they're wet so it doesn't damage my scalp when I pull them too much. And I literally just rip them apart. It's probably not very good for it, but that's just how I've been told to do it and how I've always done it, and I haven't had a problem with it so far. But I think maybe just do your research into what you think you should do. So I don't want to be telling people to literally rip their hair out and then, you know, go with what I'm saying and hurt themselves. So I definitely say just do your own research into it. There's so many dread related dedicated channels that can tell you all the stuff you need to know about having dreadlocks. I can only really go from my own personal experience, and with my own personal experience that's what works with me. And it fucking hurts, so you know. But I don't do any other maintenance to my locks. When I got dreadlocks, it wasn't because I wanted them to be all perfect and pretty and stuff. I mean, I wanted them to look a bit crazy, and I kind of wanted them to look a little bit wild and shit. So I don't really see the point in having them being perfect because it's just not what I wanted. Like, I have loops, lumps and bumps everywhere, and I really like them and I like how that looks. And I like that aesthetic and stuff. But I do have a few congos. Like I had one at the back of my head that just decided to merge itself together, but I cut that one open. Yeah, like there's one of my congos there. Kind of looks like a little guy dancing along. It's really cool. It's like my hair has a wild life of its own. Decided to go with the white eyelashes because I thought the glistening on top of like the salt plains and things like that, I thought it kind of needed lifting up, and I thought that looked like the glistening on top. I didn't English very well there. As an English person, that wasn't very good. So I'm going to go with white for the rest of it, I think, as well. So I think it looked a little bit more ethereal and sparkly, so I wish I had glitter, but I don't. My makeup kit is actually really limited. Moving on to the last question now. What is your favourite crystal? I think mainly I would say, energy-wise, amethyst. Anytime I meditate, it just gives me such amazing clarity and calmness of thought. I have a particular amethyst crystal I really love, and it's kind of like, he's kind of like this kind of dusting of crystals over the top of a rock. He's kind of like half exposed and half not exposed, and he's beautiful. And anytime I'm like meditating with something else and it doesn't work, I always reach for him. It always makes me feel calm and collected and stuff, and if anything else isn't working for me, I always reach for it. I've always been incredibly drawn to amethyst in general. They just give us such an amazing energy, and I always feel like super connected to it. Anytime I see one, I just have to have it. But I think it's just one of those things where, like, if you connect to a certain quality of an item or a crystal per se, it just draws you to it, and anytime you see one, it just, that energy connects, and you want to be around it all the time, and that's what I feel like with amethyst. When it comes to purely aesthetics, citrine definitely is one. I love the way citrine looks. It's so beautiful. I've started making some jewellery with citrine crystals in it, and it looks so pretty. Then I'd say the crystals that I actually own, I have like a really beautiful rose quartz crystal that my boyfriend got me. He actually got me it on our first ever date. He brought me to his town, which is where I live now, and we went to the woods. We had some food in the woods together, and we went on a little bit of a hike. He showed me all the different places that he used to go to with his friends, and he still goes to with his friends, and he basically just showed me around the entire area, and I fell in love with it. And then afterwards we had a drink, and then we went to a couple of shops, and one of them was a crystal shop. And it just jumped right out at me. It was like the most beautiful rose quartz crystal ever, and then he got me it. So it's like, it has like a really special connection to me. So it's one of the first things he ever got me. I think it was probably the second thing he ever got me after like this Yggdrasil necklace with amethyst crystals in it, and that's gorgeous as well, and I love that so much. I'm just using the same white liner as I usually do. Everyone was asking me about that as well. But it's by Collection as well, and it's super white and it draws on really, really nicely. I know that's really, really wonky, but like I said, I'm not really doing anything today, so I don't really mind. And then next I'm going to use my favourite lipstick, which is Bow and Arrow by Kat Von D. And I'm just going to chuck that all over my lips. And people usually ask me why I do my lipstick the way I do, and I know I said earlier I'm happy with like how my lips are and things, and that's totally true, but I really love the look of like no Cupid's bow. I think it looks really pretty. I use this lipstick in almost every single makeup look, just because I can kind of do whatever I want with it. I can put whatever I want with it on top. So I'm gonna go and match up my lips to my eyes with the same purple eyeshadow. Just gonna dot it in the middle. So that's basically it for makeup. I'm just gonna go and put my hair up in some messy buns, and then I'll be right back. Well, that's it for the questions and the makeup. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's very different from anything that I've done before, and I'm still really new to the whole doing YouTube videos thing, so I really hope that you enjoyed it and that it was at least semi-interesting to watch, and I answered some of your questions that you were maybe waiting on to be answered for a very long time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to subscribe and maybe see a video every month, then just do that. If there's any other videos you'd like to see, then just let me know in the comments, or let me know over on my Instagram, or send me a DM or something like that. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you could reach it to the end of this video by this point, then congratulations and well done. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye!